This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4, verse 11, and it reads, it says, Thou shalt drink also water by measure, the sixth part of an hin from time to time shalt thou drink. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that come out of man in their sight. And the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, said, Even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I will drive them. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. The honors to my elder apostles, elder bishops, elders at Great Millstone that rule well, that teach well, that taught me this truth. Peace, love, and salutation to the Bayafta Wada, which is the host of David, which is the elect. Shalom is shalom to sincere Akiam and sincere Akwaf that follow the Lamb wherever it goes. Shalom. This is your brother Yanaga here from the Providence, Rhode Island camp, coming back to you again with another one. And the inspiration of this video came from the brother Aishaya, right, from the North Carolina or Charlotte camp. Salaki, the Charlotte, GMS Charlotte camp. It says his channel is at GMS All Precepts, right? Watch, share, subscribe, and always be edified, okay? Now, he did a video going into the defiled bread, okay, of you, or, of you Israelites, man, okay? So the title of his lesson is The War on Your Health is Obvious. Now keep your diet on point to the best of your ability, right? Okay? Because, we here in Babylon the Great, aka America, we getting the best of the worst, man. Okay? Even when we so-called claim so we eating healthy, man, everything here is defiled, man. Okay? Everything here is defiled, man. Hence the reason why I brought out that scripture, Ezekiel 4, man. Okay, that the children of Israel shall eat that defiled bread among the Gentiles, right? So now I got a video queued up real quick through the spirit and power Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. Okay, fair use, fair use, fair use. Okay, so I'm gonna grab it real quick.
Our government is letting U.S. food companies get away with serving American citizens harmful ingredients that are banned or heavily regulated in other countries. Even worse, American food companies are selling the same exact products overseas without these chemicals, but choose to continue serving us the most toxic version here. It's un-American. Let me give you some examples of McDonald's French fries. In the US, there's 11 ingredients. In the UK, there's 3, and salt is optional. An ingredient called dimethylpolysiloxane is an ingredient preserved with formaldehyde, a neurotoxin, in the US version. This is used as a foaming agent so they don't have to replace the oil that often, making McDonald's more money here in the United States. But they don't do that across the pond. This is Skittles. Notice the long list of ingredient differences. 10 artificial dyes in the US version and titanium dioxide. This ingredient is banned in Europe because it can cause DNA damage. Artificial dyes are made from petroleum, and products containing these dyes require a warning label in Europe that states it may cause adverse effects on activity and detention in children. And they have been linked to cancer and disruptions in the immune system. This on the screen back here is Gatorade. In the US, they use red 40 and caramel color. In Germany, they don't. They use carrot and sweet potatoes to color their Gatorade. General Mills is definitely playing some tricks on us. They launched a new version of Trix just recently in Australia. It has no dyes. They even advertise that when the US version still does. This is why I became a food activist. My name is Vani Hari, and I only want one thing. I want Americans to be treated the same way as citizens in other countries by our own American companies. 60 years, almost all food additives were being created for one sole purpose: to improve the bottom line of the food industry and not improve our health. These chemicals were created to mimic real food, to make it easier and cheaper for food manufacturers to preserve their food, to make it last longer on the shelf, to help manufacturing, and sinister of all, to allow them to create products that are more addictive in nature. I ended up quitting my lifelong career as a corporate management consultant to investigate and write about food full time. During my investigations, I found an alarming discovery. We use over 10,000 food additives here in the United States, and in Europe, there's only 400 approved. We were able to get Subway to remove azodicarbonamide from their bread in the United States after another successful petition. And as a bonus, there was a ripple effect, and almost every bread manufacturer in America followed suit. I want to make an important point here. Ordinary people who rallied for safer food, shared this information, and signed petitions were able to make these changes. We did this on our own. But isn't this something that the people in Washington, our elected politicians, should be doing?
Okay, so there you have it, man, okay? There you have it, okay? So the elites, the wicked elites, right, that run Washington, that run America, Babylon the Great, right? They're trying to kill you jakes off, man. Now, the food that was listed, none of you jakes shouldn't be, eating those things or giving your children any of those things, man. Because those things are straight up poison, man. All right? So, I seen this video online, I just, wanted to share that with you, Akim or Aguaf. Now, going back, right? Let's get to some scriptures real quick, right? Let's get that in Sirach real quick. I'm not going to make this too long. This is Sirach 39. Sirach 39 and 24. He said, as his ways are plain unto the holy, so are the stumbling blocks unto the wicked, right? For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. The principal thing for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of grapes, and oil, and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned into evil, man. All right? So this is what the wicked Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man has done, man. Started with their head, right? The elite banking families, the Amalekites, right? This is what they're doing, man. They're trying to kill you jakes off, man. Okay? Through the food, right? Through the air, right? Through the clothing that we wear. The clothing that we wear is not one single fabric, it's double fabric, right? It's not even the right fabric that we should be wearing, right? That the air is always being polluted, right? With the chemtrails and everything, man. Okay, the water that we bathe our skin in have all types of chemicals, chlorine, and all types of chemicals in it to poison us, man. All right. So this is the reason why we have to understand that this is not our rest, man. All right, let's get that real quick. Let me add that in there. Yeah, let's get that real quick. This is Micah 2 and 10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with a sore destruction, man. Okay, this place is polluted, man. Okay, the wicked, they done a good job in polluting everything here, man. Okay, this is the reason why when you go to certain places around the world, right, the air, the air is a lot more cleaner to breathe in, right? The beaches, the water is a lot more clearer. It's not as filthy, filthy here in America, right? Is the food, man. The food is tasting way different, man. Way different, man. That's why the food that we eat is also corrupt too, man. Okay, making us have high blood pressure, right? Diabetes, right? Cancer, right? And all different types of disease, man, because of the ingredients, the additive, the chemicals that they're putting in, right? Inside of these food, man. All right. So real quick, let's grab another precept. What's our scripture? Let's get that real quick. and they don't hold themselves accountable, man. Um, let's see. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Hold themselves not guilty. Right. This is Zechariah chapter 11 verse 5, and it reads, for it says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. And who's the possessors, man, that slay them, man? Esau, Edom, man. Okay, and they're not gonna hold themselves guilty, man. They're not gonna you know, charge themselves for the crime that they have done, man. Let's get that real quick. Psalms 73. Let's get this real quick. I'm not gonna make this too long. In the plantation real quick. Right. Let's start at 3. It says, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. All right, so that's why they get the best of the best, man. Okay, they get the best of the best meat, the best of the best, lamb, goat, cow, right? Fish, right? They get the best of the best, man. Crops, provisions, right? They get the best of the best, man. And like when you listen to that brother Aishaya, right, from Charlotte Carolina video, right, goes into how that, they don't even care, man. They don't care whether they don't care, man. Okay, they don't care whether they poison you. They're not gonna hold themselves guilty. They have a immunity, right? So you can't sue them, right? So, hey, man, if this man is not the wicked that the Bible speaks of, then who is he, man? And we keep saying this day in and day out, man. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked, man. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he, man? All right. It says, verse 6, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covered them as a garment. They stand out with fatness. The eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than the heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily, right? So, they know that people are dying behind these types of chemicals that they're putting in the food, man. And what did they do, man? They just sit back and laugh, man. Because this is the intent, man. This is what the intent is doing, man. All right? This is what they want to do, man. They're planning to kill you off, man. Okay, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right? And this is the reason why, what the scripture say, let me see if I could find it. The Apostle Paul, let me see. Let's see real quick. Apostle Paul, a bit. Okay, hold up. Right. This is Acts 28. It says, Acts 28 and 1, and when they were escaped, then they knew that the island was called Melita, and the barbarous people shew us no little kindness, for they kindle a fire and receive us everyone because of the present rain and because of the cold. And when Paul had gathered a bundle of sticks and laid them on the fire, there came a viper out of the heat and fastened it on his hands. So the snake, right, the serpent, right, latched on to the Apostle Paul's hand, man, right? It says, and when the barbarians, right, saw the venomous beast hang on his hand, they said among themselves, no doubt this man is a murderer, whom though he have escaped the sea, yet vengeance suffereth not to live. Okay? So and then it says here, and he shook off the beast into the fire and felt no harm, man. Okay? So it's gonna come a point in time where, the Lord is gonna be with us to the point where even though we drink poison or whatever the case is, or we eating poison or whatever, right? Because the scriptures say all bread is defiled amongst the Gentiles, right? We still gonna be able to live. Let's see. Right, let me get that scripture real quick. Let's see if I could grab that spot. Please bear with me. Yeah, real quick. Salaki, I'm gonna post it in the description box when I find it. Okay, but again, it says it in the scripture that we're gonna drink poison and live. Okay, and matter of fact, let's end it off with this scripture. I'm not gonna make it too long. Is that second Ezra? Is that 6? Or 2, okay. Brakatayel Bashmi Shai. Second Ezra 2 and 26. As for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. Right? So we're not gonna perish, man. Although you do gonna have some elect members that are gonna be martyrs for this truth, right? Okay. It says, as for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, right? Because the Lord is going to feed his elect, right? For I will require them from among thy number. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance, right? We're going to have just enough to get by, just enough to eat, right? The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, said the Lord. My hand shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. Okay, so even our children are going to be fed and taken care of, man. Okay, Brakatayal Bashmi Shai. It says, verse 30, be joyful, O thou mother, with thy children, for I will deliver thee, said the Lord. Remember thy children that sleep, for I shall bring them out of the side of the earth and show mercy unto them. For I am merciful, said the Lord Almighty. Embrace thy children until I come, and show mercy unto them, for my well runneth over, and my grace shall not fail, man. Okay, so we're gonna even though, right, our food is being poisoned and weaponized against us, right? We still gonna be able to persevere, man. We still gonna be able to see salvation, man. Okay, Lord willing, okay, we be a part of that number, man. Speaking to myself first and foremost, man. So I just seen that video from the brother Aishiyah, right? And I just wanted to touch on that real quick, okay, on how the U.S. became the global dumping ground for toxic, contaminated food, okay, processed food, right? A form of, you see that word right there, right? The G word, right? And a part of depopulating, okay, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. So it'd be important to, just be attentive to what you're eating, right? Be attentive to your diet, right? Make sure you have like the brother said, a regimen, right? To the best of our ability, man, because, this devil poisoning everything, man, and he ain't gonna let up, man. Okay, so once again, saying praises to the hopefully elect men first, women and children, right? Pray that Yahweh Bashim Yahshai keep them in these wicked, evil, perilous times, man. Keep them in a sense of, protect and guide them, man. Okay, so that, the Lord's hand could be over them and protecting them. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory. Go see Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, Bashim Rakakodash. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.